When you think of me the first time we met, what do you remember?
I remember you stood up to greet me, and I was pleasantly surprised by that. You fixed my hair. I asked you to fix my hair, and you fixed my hair. And I liked that. That wasn't even a second thought. I said, "Can you fix my hair?" And I said, "Yeah," and you leaned over. You fixed my hair. And you were very smiley and very sweet.
Okay. You mentioned before me standing up. Always like standing out to you.
Yeah.
Well, why do you think that is?
I don't know. It was just a really sweet thing. Like you seemed eager and excited and present, and that standing up kind of represents all of that. Not in like a, you know.
Milady.
Yeah, not in a milady sort of way. Just, just, you know, I don't need you to hold doors open or anything, but I just liked that you were, you don't, that you stood up and that it seemed like you were excited for me to join you at the table, and I liked that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, should I ask the next question? Mm-hmm. Okay. When do you feel closest to me?
After good sex, after that sense of, that we managed to really satisfy each other, and that we were connected, and that emotional connection was there as well, and we can just kind of bask in in our abilities and in each other. It's I feel very loved. And it's a very nice feeling. Yeah.
Yeah.
How about you?
I agree with you about sex, post-sex, I just, but I think also when we're creating something together, when we're writing together and it just feels really productive, and I say something and then you say something and then I write something and then you do something, and it just feels like we're building off this momentum, and I just feel like it's such an obvious closeness that we have, that we can bounce those things around really quickly and have something to show for it. It just, like, I don't know, shows how close we are.
No, I like that answer. It's better than mine.
It's not a competition. Well.
What do you think I'm missing out by being with you?
Well, I mean, you're younger than me. You're 25.
Yes, I am.
Age doesn't matter. It's just a number, right?
I'm 17.
You're 25 and I'm 29, and I feel like I've lived 10 lives. I feel so lucky to have been able to live in so many places and do so many things and have adventures and things I know you've done as well. But I feel like I've had more opportunities to do so just because I'm older. And I feel like sometimes being with me and settling down is somehow might limit you in whatever way that means and however that turns out. And I don't ever want to limit you.
I'm so not worried about you limiting me in any way. I mean, what's exciting for me and what I love also about being with you is that if anything, you're just going to encourage more experiences for me. You're someone, I think, who is going to pull the best out of me. So I know I'm not going to miss out on anything. Being with you, it's going to just help me get more.
Good. I'm glad you feel that way.
Yeah. Right, fair enough. What is something I could have done to support you during the abortion?
I think you did a pretty good job supporting me. I think it would have been, I was mostly nervous about interacting with the doctors. That was my biggest concern. Of course, I honestly, it wasn't as emotional about making that big choice as I think it is for a lot of people. It wasn't as hard for me. I knew the choice that I wanted to make and that probably was best for us as well. Obviously, it was best for us. But I knew that I wanted to have an abortion. So that wasn't a big decision, but for going to the intake appointment by myself and then having to make the decision, do I take the pill or, do I come back and have a surgery and am I fully under, or do I just do it with like local anesthesia, like what? And so making these choices, that was really hard for me. And having that doctor who wasn't very nice. And, that makes me like really emotional, more so than anything else, feeling vulnerable already and then being by myself and not having that support. I know you had to work, but it was hard. And then what, you weren't there or something? Oh, your friends were in town.
That was the week before.
Yeah, your friends were in town, but I still, I went and got tested to make sure that I was. They did the ultrasound to make sure I was actually pregnant.
Oh, that during the same time?
The day your friends arrived. And you wanted me to, no, I took the pregnancy test. I took the pregnancy test.
Yeah. And then they were arriving like an hour before.
The moment that your best friends were arriving into town, and you kind of had encouraged me to take it, and then you went and hung out with them. And I was by myself at home, taking this pregnancy test, and I just felt like, maybe you didn't realize how emotional that would be.
Yeah. And I remember that conversation. I mean, I understand why you felt that I was encouraging it. At the time, I thought about this obviously recently. What would have it been if you had waited a few days and then taken it? Is it Schrodinger's pregnancy or something? What would have it changed, the dynamic-wise? I just remember being on the phone with you and you saying that you got the test or something, and from what I recall, I said if you want to decide to take it now, that's sure. If not, that's okay too. And you probably sensed, because you know me, that I like knowing things right away, so you felt that encouragement.
I think you said, I would rather you take the pregnancy test now. Why would we need to wait? And for me, it was a matter of whether I'm pregnant or not, it is what it is. At least we can wait a couple days until your friends leave, your best friends that you haven't seen in years. Yeah. And you were kind of like, let's just figure it out now. Let's just know. And that is one big difference between us. Yeah. You'd rather just know now no matter what. And me, it's well, it is what it is. Let's just wait to open the box, Schrodinger's cat or whatever. And you did end up staying the next day with me. Or the day I had the abortion, you stayed with me, but then the next day, you were kind of you were gonna go do something else with some friends. You were gonna meet up with friends, and you're like, oh, you're okay. And I told you, I'm not okay. I know that I seem okay, but I need you here, and you did, you stayed. So that, you did provide the support that I needed. Yeah, because it was hard to read sometimes exactly what you're, because, like you said, it didn't have the stereotypical kind of emotional weight that, well, what side are we playing? Are we making, not to make it too much of a big deal? Are we going to push it aside? It's this is what it is, we'll move on. Or oh my God, let's sit a vigil, let's shiva and wait it out. So trying to find that balance. Yeah. But I think, you got me any medicine I needed, you brought me food, you got a hot water bottle, everything. And everything you could do to help, you you were trying to do. So you're very, very supportive and present once I let you know that I needed you to be.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please help us make more by supporting us on Patreon, theskindeep.com/Patreon. The link is also in the description. Thank you very much.